Hi, guys. We're worried about you, so we went live. We hope everybody's okay.
Yeah, like a typical
it's been a
former college student. I'm doing my homework right now. So.
He is doing his homework right now. I'm getting some commentary. We're doing some setup on the other line. We're here. I need to send a link to somebody in case. Somebody was supposed to be here in person, and very wisely, because he was not feeling good, said he was going to stay home.
Oh, good.
And then, good, because it was the first time. He's like, I'm going to come there in person because I want to get some pizza. And I was like, yes. What's that?
Was it Ronnie?
Yes, it was Ronnie.
Yeah.
I'm not there.
Mm-hmm. I get,
Well, Ronnie and I have to have words about Batman anyway, so.
So not only was I on a film set this weekend, I also went to the restaurant for the first time twice this weekend. I only go if I need to meet somebody, so.
because I forgot. I was going to do it as soon as I finished work today.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it wasn't that long, but then I was reminded I had to do a pre-Kano wedding survey, so I did that instead because I know where my bread is buttered.
Mm-hmm. Well, I gotta fix my headphones here, so I actually can't.
That was interesting. That was a lot of questions.
Here we go, and in the back. Yes. Okay. Okay.
Wow.
Hmm.
You're not kidding. That was a short match.
That finish came out of nowhere, didn't it?
Yeah. Jeez. That was great.
Mm-hmm. It was good stuff. We'll get into that.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll loop Badger in because we didn't tell her about it.
Yeah.
She's final touches. Final whatevers.
All right. Okay.
There you are. Hello.
Oh shit! Are you waiting on me? My bad.
No problem. I mean,
No, you're good,
hey,
you're good.
if we start before 9:30, we're doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
Switch these bad boys on.
That's how we go. And we're out there streaming.
It's how we roll. It's how we rotate. It's fine.
I left it off again just in case.
Just
any
in case you
awkwardness
weren't
setting up.
wearing pants.
I did get a weird close up there for a moment. So.
Sorry.
Mm.
Well, I mean, my nudes are out there anyway, so what am I worried about?
Oh boy, Mike.
Wow.
Mike, have you caught up on?
On that? No, I have not.
Okay, all right.
Terrible. I'm a terrible person.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
a horrible joke.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to get that. I had to get the horrible joke out of the way before we started being serious.
It'll come and go, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably. There were many times where I just wanted to make Patreon jokes, and I didn't.
Good boy.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
I know.
Good boy. Good boy.
Yes,
Read the room. Read the room.
God damn it.
exactly.
Okay.
Reading the room is a fairly good skill of mine.
Yes. Yes.
Fuck.
Fairly good.
God damn it. Hold, please.
Oh, please.
Okay, take your time.
God damn it. Fucking Mercury, Gatorade.
It started right on the first day of that, didn't it? It really
Dude,
did.
Okay, no, we're going to touch on that.
Okay, we'll hold off on that. Okay. I know that.
Because every motherfucker is like, oh, fucking astrology's bullshit. Is it? Is it? I don't know what you want to fucking call a worldwide purge. I can't imagine what the whole fucking planet had in common that day.
Mm-hmm.
Try me. Don't fucking talk
I'll
to
make
a
you
brew-
famous.
Don't talk to a brouhaha about fucking stars.
And you can also follow up with Mike on the Pillars of Goth.
But by the way, Badger, I apologize for my thoughts on practical magic.
It's okay. It's all right. We all make mistakes.
I just,
If this week's
yo,
not
like,
evidence of that.
Practical Magic was like pure date movie for me. It was perfect.
Okay, that's good. Okay, good. Got my drink.
Well, I'm messaging the Rev because somebody is mis-sharing his match from tonight.
Miss sharing? What does that mean?
They're sharing info from the match, but then the link is to like an entirely different promotion for some reason.
Good job, guys. Good job.
I don't listen, man.
It's only one button.
Facebook's hard. I get it.
Is it?
Yes. Yeah, for many it is. There you are. Hello.
Me?
Yes, people can see you now.
Yeah, I'm gonna disappear again. Hold on.
Oh, there it goes.
Continue. Go on. Don't wait on me.
We're doing nothing important. We're doing nothing important right now. Just saying hi to the
Say
shower.
that about your show.
Well, I mean, there's more important shows than mine, I'm sure.
Right now?
Right now? No, right now? I mean, happening now? I don't know. I think what, like last year's Royal Rumble's on FS1 right now? Is that our competition?
I thought I saw 2008 Rumbles on the network.
Is it 2008?
I don't know.
And then I don't know, some other program is having a heavily edited show right now because of things. You know, it's been a very bob and weave kind of week.
Nah. There we go.
All right, good. Good. Oh, you're set. Oh, wow. What is
Queen Badger? I like it.
Queen Badger.
Queen of the screenshots.
There you go.
Queen of the screenshots. Please make that a shirt.
We're having a social media lesson tonight, aren't we?
Please make that a shirt and donate all proceeds.
What's the social media lesson we're learning?
I was if you text shit, it ain't private. So, for one,
man,
we can go from there.
The amount of people that are like, Badger, listen, I got 2 speeding tickets when I was like.
Wait,
18.
we do. Hold on a second. I'm recording this for gold. So, are you telling me because of everything that's happened and how you have conducted yourself on social media the last couple of days, that you have basically started a Badger confessional?
It's totally a Badger confessional. People I don't even talk to all the time are like, listen, Badger, I just want to be upfront with you right now. I got like 2 speeding tickets. I got like in trouble for stealing a magazine when I was like 14, and I returned it, and just like every little tiny anything, they're like, I'm just gonna tell you now and apologize.
Wow.
Because
wow.
Can't escape me. I'll find it. I'm gonna fucking find it.
So Queen of the Screenshots, Max's King of Ohio, I think was the shirt that I saw today.
Yes, go buy that shit.
Yeah, definitely. I think I might be in my near future as well. Is that a Pro Wrestling Tees, or is that a limited run?
I'm sure her other stuff is on Pro Wrestling.
Is it?
So
Okay.
I wouldn't see why the other wouldn't.
I missed the Lee Moriarty shirt, so partially out of guilt, I bought Main Event and Revs as soon as they were available.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's awesome to hear, though. That.
Yeah.
You
know. Yeah, I just couldn't get into it.
I'm trying to think if I have anything to confess. I mean, I'm sure I do, but nothing really comes to mind.
Mike, I'm sure we did some shit when we like visited you. I mean, not bad. I mean, okay,
yeah,
not that kind of shit. But I'm just like,
I also probably wouldn't listen to the first conservatively 4 years of the podcast.
There's that too. But I mean, and by stuff, I mean Chad throwing a car seat down a giant flight of stairs where they filmed the Joker dancing.
It was empty.
There was nobody in it. Yeah, no, there was nobody in it.
This isn't
I thought you meant the stairwell. I was like, well, I don't know.
No,
that helps,
where there's a giant stairs where he does the dance in the puddle kind of thing.
Yeah.
That was right.
I lived right by that.
That was right by Mad Mike's apartment. And Chad
sweet.
And Chad threw a car seat that was out by the trash down it. So
amazing.
It was pretty great.
We were very close. I think the bar was.
By the way,
those
the stairs, great to go down, horrible to go up.
Oh,
I know that was a metaphor in the movie, Mike.
No, I know, but like in reality, like the last time I walked up those stairs, I made the foolish decision to not drive to the grocery store. I had a backpack.
Jesus.
I had a backpack full of 2 16-ounce Pepsi sleeves, and I walked up those stairs. And I'm like, I'm never doing this shit again. I don't care if I have to keep filling up my gas tank. I'm driving to the grocery store. I don't go. Fuck.
That's tricky though, because that's like literally half the reason you live in fucking New York is so you don't have to drive anywhere. Until that shit happens.
But then I found another grocery store where I walked uphill to get to it, and then when I had all my groceries, it was all downhill. So I'm like, that was a lot easier.
Mike, we interviewed somebody over in Williamsburg a couple of weeks ago, and she moved up there from here. Liz Victory, musician. Does some great stuff on Twitch. Who the hell is Raw? Wait, we have a run-in. Who is it? Who is it?
Guy.
This.
Hey, you know what? I'm late. You know.
Jeez.
God damn it.
Are you?
You weren't feeling good.
I'm not feeling good.
Oh,
Did It's all right. Did I miss the intros and all that?
No,
stuff?
we're still setting up. We're fine. I was about to tell a story.
Oh, so I'm not late at all. All right.
I forget what my story was about now. So.
It's all right. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna.
Yeah, you interrupted Sorg, asshole.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, it's just like any other show. I mean,
somebody's gonna interrupt them every once in a while.
It's usually me.
Yeah, that's usually Bad Mike. That's it. The Bad Mike interrupts everybody. That's just what
I'm
we do.
from New York and have buffering Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It's not a good combination.
I'm sorry. It's not intentional.
Literally, like, because it's not. It goes just once, multiple times. I'm not gonna say there's complaints about Mad Mike, but there's been. He's cracking up.
I can say there's been complaints.
Well, there's been some complaints about Mike.
There's been complaints.
Yes, but no, on multiple occasions, like, there's, hey, it's hard to get a word in edgewise with him. And I was like, I'm sorry, he's on the internet and he's from New York. It's literally what I say.
I realize I have to work on it.
Live from New York.
And then half the time, it's like, oh, I get it now.
Like, as soon as someone meets me, they're like, oh, he's just like this all the time.
Well, did I tell you about the time? I don't know who I had a conversation with, and they were like, who's that guy who thinks he's hot shit because he used to work for WWE? And I was like, no, you don't understand. He's not the one that goes over on it. I'm the one that makes it a big deal. And we go from there, because
I never put it over. Like, I put it over when it was occurring.
Oh yeah,
because it was awesome.
Because I'm just like a fanboy of them, but it's like, but generally it's like, no, I love being able to say that on my show. That somebody here worked for them. Like,
if anything, you're really using me, Sword.
I am using the shit out of you, dude. Are you
I'm
kidding
just trying
me?
to get to the Fed, bro.
What do you think? Why do you think you've been here for 10 years?
It's not because my opinions are valid.
That's sure as hell not the reason you're here. I mean, since we're all being honest right now.
Since Badger Confessional, Sorg thinks I have terrible opinions. and if I didn't formerly work for a big company, he would have kicked me off the show long ago.
All pretty much true. Yeah.
Sorg, let's be honest. I'm the only one that consistently shows up.
Also true.
Mike, congratulations on not making the list on people who've done some fucked up shit in the Fed lately.
All right. I'm an asshole. I ain't that kind of asshole.
I ain't that kind of asshole. No. Oof. Bobbing and weaving. Ugh. Okay.
So, who are we shitting on tonight?
Oh my God.
Hey, Ronnie, we don't
care.
tits,
here. Ronnie. Let's just.
Yeah. Let me get through the Patreon before we start doing that.
Okay.
Let's relax.
Relax.
I'm fucking tired, okay?
Ronnie, we're here to have conversations.
I have to ice my thumbs. I'm fucking sleepy. My retinas are fucked up for looking at this fucking screen, and oh my God.
You've gone into overtime this week. I'm proud of you.
Wow.
You just want the. You're just like, I'm just gonna bury everybody.
I burned 3,000 calories on that fucking TikTok video.
Oh God, blisters on these fingers.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Oh my God, that fucking TikTok video.
So I didn't.
I've never been that sweaty since I've wrestled.
By the way,
God, I'm gonna make more TikTok videos. That's my new fucking cardio.
Do it.
Fuck all this other. I've been doing all this fucking couch to 5K apps and all this shit. I fucking apparently my best fucking tool has been attached to my fucking hips all this time.
I'm unpacking.
I have so many followers now.
We're all just gonna leave that right there. We're all just gonna leave it.
We're just like,
I didn't know what to say.
We're all just leaving that right there. That's a statement that was made.
Apparently, I need a counter.
I went from like 7 followers, which were like all 7 of my friends, to it's like 300 people have liked your video, and you now have almost 600 followers. I was like, oh fuck, I'm late to the game.
So would you say that your milkshake brings all the boys to the yard?
If it's dairy free, yes.
Oh shit! Oh, the good stuff. Wait, we gotta start this show because this is too much. This is too
man,
much.
the people who are getting gold are really getting gold this week.
Oh God, yes. Hold on, I gotta get.
Can I get a Stork someday? Can I get a compilation of the gold?
A gold compilation.
Or
the one
you
day.
know what? Maybe I should just support the Patreon like a fucking asshole. I am. Like, can you give me all that Patreon content free?
Well, you know, it's funny. If you do support the Patreon, we have to announce you any way that you wish.
Yes.
Queen of the motherfucking screenshots.
Yeah, we'll do that every single time.
I love that. I love that episode where we figured that out. I thought you guys were just being like assholes for some reason. I'm like, why the fuck they do that every time they go through that fucking Patreon? That person's probably like, oh fuck, I just wanted to get fucking wrestling content, and they're fucking making a big deal. No. And then you were like, no, that's part of it.
No, that's part of it. Like that guy's been playing.
Yeah, when I contribute to the Patreon, I demand that I'm addressed as Lord and Supreme Patron.
Yeah. Bo Dickey's been giving $1 to the show every month for since the beginning of our Patreon. Like,
funny.
Yeah, it's just so and we still do that. And he never told us to stop.
Mm-hmm. And he's never put stop payment or anything. So we're like, no, we're just doing this until
amazing
the world implodes.
I love it. I'm here for it.
I'll be sad if he stops supporting.
It's nice to see the Mayans were wrong again.
When was the end of the world supposed to be this week?
Sunday.
Hold your breath on that one.
Oh, suck it, Mayans.
Because somebody
Mayans?
could have been dyslexic in 2012.
I don't know.
I think the world's gonna end once a week for the rest of our lives.
So don't fucking who the Mayans, and then fucking we got murder hornets next month. Like, shut the fuck up, Mike.
Listen. I believe I'm correct in judging everybody's age here, but nobody here lived too bad in the a bomb is going to drop on us at any moment era of the Cold War.
Were you about to say no one lived during the Mayans? I'm like, no.
Not the Mayans.
Look, Sorg, I might be a grizzling vet, but I haven't been around that long.
Get off the table! Sorry, I'm yelling at my cat. I'm fucking...
God damn it, cat.
I saw you at the squirt bottle. We can't use it. Our cat loves it.
I bought this today, and we're going to be in ship shape in a couple days.
Thank you, Tina.
Oh my God, baseball is supposedly coming back in a month.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I don't fucking buy that for
I'm not ready.
second.
I'm not ready to change.
First of all, everything's going red in a week, so.
Oh no! She's thinking. Max, our buddy Max from up in Seattle, tweets. Remember when the shittiest thing in wrestling was that Blackcraft show? Those were good times.
Oh man!
We love you, friends of the show, Matt, Light, and Bill. Who I was just chatting with the other day.
They're doing a Seinfeld Lego set.
I think they agree.
But, you know, you hit the bottom of the barrel when you put Corey Futuristic on a Blackcraft show.
Dude, listen. I like Corey, but there was when I saw Corey Futuristic come out of that for that battle royal, and with a Titantron, I'm like, what the fuck is he doing here? Yeah. I just was not ready for that. It's just like, wait. What's happening right now? What show am I at? What?
For this jelly.
Like,
yeah, well, Blackcraft Wrestling, pal.
I'm out of the loop. I wanted on that show. I'm not gonna talk shit.
Oh, so did I. So
yeah. Anyways, it was. I think we've said enough about Blackcraft over the years. Let's start our show.
Let's start the show. I was just about to say that. I don't know. Producer Missy, Queen. Our Lord and Savior.
Queen producer. Wait, Superhuman's on this list?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
really surprised by that?
Oh really no, sorry. I thought you knew about Superhuman a while ago. He's a piece of work.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot on here that doesn't surprise me, but listen, man, I'm still.
He's the only bad. He's the only bad Juggalo, Sorg.
No, he's not the only bad Juggalo. Trust me. Trust me on that.
I don't know how to unpack that statement, but I actually shouldn't talk shit on ICP. They're actually like fucking.
Say, watch yourself. Watch yourself on the ICP. Watch yourself.
Yeah, he's a big ICP mark.
No, I know. I'm aware. I just for a long time I was like, I don't understand, but
yeah, they were anti-Confederate flag, and they came around on the homophobia eventually. They at least apologized for it. So being a parent will do that, I guess.
What a weird concept, apologizing for a shitty fucking point of view.
What? Hey.
It's too late.
Let's start the show.
It's too late.
Hold on.
I for one like the Oddities theme song from ICP.
I was singing that last night, Ronnie.
Yeah, you were.
Everybody come see the greatest show.
Gather up all the goes and go.
I'm gonna send you
I just couldn't take any show serious when their marketing was and Fago will reign from the stage. I was like,
dude,
oh,
you have no idea.
Off.
You have no idea.
What kind of Fago was it though? If it wasn't
so
root beer,
great.
I'm not interested.
It's typically Diet Cola and Diet Root Beer because of the sugar content and it destroys things in venues.
Gross.
Okay.
No, actually, no. If your if your car ever won't start, if you pour fucking soda on your battery, it'll fucking.
Good to know.
But it's Coke.
Good to know. You don't. You haven't lived.
It's literally fucking acid, and we drink it.
You haven't lived until you've been covered in glitter and soda.
Yeah, you haven't lived until you went to a gore show.
Man,
and covered with everything.
I'm not gonna say I haven't ever been there, but I don't think we've been there in the same
context.
venue.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Let's start the show.
Hey. It is the Wrestling Mayhem Show. Hold on, I don't have a number.
Oh my god.
God damn.
God damn. Sorg, it's like it's your first day.
You and Brandon K can't start a show if we paid you.
Whoa, what did Brandon K show? Were you talking about the show? They are actually very timely.
Brandon can never get a show started on the first one. Ever.
Oh,
I love that show.
On Culture Pop
is doing wonderful things. Yes. And they have a really good format.
Starting the show isn't one of them.
Never start that show on the first one. If it was a wrestling match, he would have never been a trainer because he cannot get that shit done live on the first try.
Hold on, I'm cutting that. I'm cutting that for later.
Keep it in.
No, I'm putting that on the gold.
Oh my god.
Now I'm choking.
Everybody come see the greatest show.
Up all juggalos and roll.
Fun to be down with the clowns.
With the clowns.
Dumb diddy dumb. I'm violent.
I can't
I
say
fucked
anything.
your mom.
I was on the opposite of the spectrum. I was a Slipknot thought. So
that's fine. That's fine.
Say.
They had a feud. They had a feud for a whole 5 minutes. Like literally, I think they made up on the show.
The only Slipknot I've ever heard is the mashup someone did with a Justin Bieber song.
Well, you should.
I prefer the Kids Bop version.
I'm going to try to start a show, guys.
All right, go for it.
Save me if I start coughing again. If I start doing this motion at you and reaching for my coffee, do something.
So we actually have to look at you now?
Do something.
God damn it.
It's the Wrestling
Wait for the door.
And take 3.
It's the Wrestling Mayhem Show episode. Fuck.
Take 4.
Episode whatever the fuck this is.
I'm like running out of breath. It's the Wrestling Mayhem Show episode 720 Tuesdays. We've been talking about professionalized wrestling. I am Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter, on the ones and twos in the Sorgatron Media Compound in Pittsburgh, PA. There's a lot of fine wrestling still happening here. Look, ma, no fans. Sorry, Beyond Wrestling. But with me, the only Mayhemmer with a future endeavored letter from the WWE, it is Mad Mike.
How has an indie company not done a show called Look, Ma, No Fans?
Oh, they have. No, that was Beyond Wrestling. That's how Beyond Wrestling started. They were like in a
that's amazing.
Storage locker. Their website was lookmanofans.com, I believe.
Oh boy. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sorg, it's boy howdy, has it been a week in professional wrestling? Nothing happened, huh?
Well, in the ring, light. Out of the ring, you know, we are going to be touching on those topics today, and touching nothing else. But we were going to be. I'll edit that out.
Yeah.
I'll edit that out. Damn it. But anyways, we have with us also the only person on the Mayhem Show identified as a grizzled vet is Ronnie Starks.
Hello, everyone. I have a clean record, just so everybody's aware.
There's that.
Except for 2 speeding tickets.
Okay. And also Also, as we are conducting our Badger confessionals, as has been deemed before the show, the Honey Badger with us. Who is that with you over there?
Oh, this is Sootball.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at the kitty.
Yes, the kitty.
Adorable.
Like from Spirited Away. Oh, yes, he loves it. He loves me.
He's like, Mom, what are you doing, Mom? Put me down. Put me the fuck down, Mom.
Yes, thank you, Sorg, for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thank you for being on.
I've had a boring week, so
yeah, you definitely have. You haven't had a presence at all on social media.
Mm-mm.
No, you've been very quiet these past couple days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. I had to take a break.
Yeah. Anyways, this is the Wrestling Mayhem Show, and I hope this is going to be the break for a lot of you guys out there, as much as we're going to get into things. But you can check out everything at WrestlingMayhemShow.com, and you can subscribe to this show and others over there, including our Monday Mayhem Wrestling show that we've been doing, which we ended up talking about like the craft and hackers instead of things in the middle of the show last night while we were rebooting a computer and still recording. That's how we do. That's how we do around here. You can drop us an email at that email address. Good times at WrestlingMayhemShow.com. 412-206-WMS0 is the hotline. At Mayhem Show on the Twitter. And, of course, our Wrestling Mayhem Show Facebook page and group. And you can hit us up every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook Live, the Twitter, the Twitch, as well as the YouTube, whatever works for you to join us and have a chat with us. And I see there's somebody on the Twitter. What is up? Somebody wants booked on this show. Send an email.
We'll get back to you, kid.
You can send an email to
Good
times at WrestlingMayhemShow.com, and we'll see what's up.
You pass your background check.
Yeah, you got to pass the background check. But anyways, and if you're catching us wherever you are watching us live, please hit a share, like, heart, whatever the case may be to help share the show and get it in front of more people, of course. And you can, and if you're catching us later on the chat room, I'm sorry, on the podcast, wherever you find podcasts are downloaded, you can please rate, review, and share the show as well, and again help grow the Mayhem Nation. You can also support us on patreon.com/WrestlingMayhemShow. Thank you everybody that does do that, including Bo Diggity. Woo! Ed Berg, Bobby F. J. Town, Team Hammerfist at the Poppy Club level. Our friends Riley Ruthers, Dave Podner, Daniel Towery, and Tina Keys. At the Pizza Club level, Doc Remedy and Cal Turner. At the manager level, OccupyProWrestling.com and Farnsworth Investments. Thank you so much, everybody, doing that. You know, by the way, I never know, like there's like half of the people on the list I never know listen to the show. And I was amazed, a very good manager that is looking out for his investment. Because when we went down on Facebook last night, because we had a computer crash in the middle of the show for the first time in like forever, he's the one I got the direct message from that the show is down. So I appreciate that. So shout outs to Farnsworth for that. So you guys, again, support the show, patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show. So there's some news. The wrestling world has been pretty rocked, and we are going to get some fun stuff here. We have our homework assignments. We're going to do a big question and probably touch on a few other news things here throughout the evening. But of course, the big news, I can't even call it the big news. It's kind of the big movement that happened, I believe, Thursday. And, on top of, and of course, there was some local things going on in particular that seemed separate from everything going on on wrestling Twitter that was going on. So I didn't realize two things were ballooning at the same time, mostly until I saw Badger post things. So Badger, can you explain to me what's happened over the last over the weekend, more or less?
Do you just want like a general summary or like
the general summary for people that maybe are not, I don't know, on Twitter?
So pretty much everywhere from your hometown local promotions all the way to the UK, essentially, globally. I don't know what sparked it other than, I don't know, Mercury retrograde starting the same day and like planets aligning and shit. But essentially a movement started calling out, I thought it was originally just promoters, workers, wrestlers, anybody, involved in the production of professional wrestling, calling out blatantly unapologetic racist comments, whether they be on various social media platforms or in a text message via a screenshot. But it also turns out that, and this was obviously in response to here in the States, the Black Lives Matter movement.
Mm-hmm.
But also there has been what is, I believe, is officially tagged hashtag Speaking Out movement, where a lot of mainly female, but also male wrestlers and, like I said, anybody involved in the production of professional wrestling started calling out different level people basically on sexual assault, rape, any sort of, abuse going on in the locker rooms, and basically said enough. If I were to summarize it, everybody woke up that morning for some reason and said enough, and just started publicly across, like I said, all their Twitters and sharing anything from actual conversations with people to just they were ready to come forward and give their story essentially, and put it out there as part of their healing process. And amazingly, everyone came together and said, these people need to go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obviously been, it's not even been a week yet. And we've luckily seen a lot of positive action towards that. And I hope we can kind of get into what the next steps are. Like I said, anywhere from locally to globally. Mm-hmm. But there is a really big movement right now of calling out predators that are in the locker room. Some were not, we were aware of, and other ones have been protected for a long time. And again, somebody just decided enough is enough. And it was just this really beautiful, like, coming together movement of everybody said enough.
Mm-hmm. So, and it feels like there's been a lot of movement, it feels, I think, separate from the Black Lives Matter movement and everything in the wrestling world, about kind of calling some call-outs. Trisha Parker, why can't I remember her ring name right now? I'm sorry? Jordan Grace, thank you. She has been, of course, publicizing like creepy stuff that she's gotten over the years, to the point where she had a book of it. Like it feels like Kelly Klein spoke out a few times about things going on, and this feels like this has been on the rise for a while, as far as like people kind of talking about what's happening behind the scenes in professional wrestling, and so. It does feel like it is, I don't want to say it's riding on what's happening with BLM, but like that sentiment of this is bullshit and we're calling it out.
Yeah, I don't want it to sound like we're choosing one over the other. Both I felt were neck and neck as far as making sure people were aware. Like I said, it was anything from blatantly racist comments to very inappropriate like racist memes or images that were being shared, or opinions, and that's like a really important thing to get that out of the way. I really want people listening and watching tonight to really try to put aside the whole right versus left. It's really nothing to do with that, as far as like, you don't agree with my opinion. It's agreeing with the opinion that human beings deserve to be treated like human beings, and equally across the board. So I really, really want people to, both of these are obviously very emotional movements. I myself has obviously been very emotional, very vocal, but I also want people listening, especially like when you're reading this online. Now, don't get me wrong, there's going to be some very obvious that person's personal preferences, But I really want, at least tonight, I'm going to please just try to set that aside for the next hour or whatnot. We talk about this, like really try to put aside like your political stance. And I want you to really like look at it from a human being stance.
So,
which I think is something that's kind of tricky with the movement, but that's basically what I'm just trying to say is try to put that aside for just an hour and listen.
So there's been a lot of discussion there. There's been a lot of the biggest thing, the biggest kind of appears to be the cornerstone of this, and this is a development. I don't think this is the start of it or anything. It's just somebody, I guess, wisely said like there's a. You know, I've said, Mike, several times the last couple of days, and I think I said the same thing to you, Badger, at the beginning of this. Like it's I use the term bobbing and weaving because it's like you don't like all the names are coming at you. Like I
it's
can't.
A lot.
You can't like.
It's a lot of information.
Yeah, it is because like it's so vast, and you literally can't get up to it. And it was just like as we were dealing with, you know, damage control situations here in the Pittsburgh area about some things that were going with certain individuals. And if you want more on that topic, there's actually a good discussion between Chris Taylor and Rev Ron Hunt on the Indy Wrestling US Facebook channel about racism in the Pittsburgh area and indie wrestling promotions and discussing that. So I'm going to leave that conversation there for them telling it because I feel like they were the most appropriate at the moment to talk about that. We're talking mostly about the general speaking out movement here tonight. But while that was all happening, this all was happening here, and I feel like I haven't woken up to exactly the gravity yet, although it's bigger than I realize every time I look at it. So in the last couple of days.
It's like I said, it's okay. Like, and I've done this myself. There's a reason my phone has been off like half the day today because, and it's been back and forth on airplane mode. Don't forget to take those mental health breaks because there's a lot going on.
Yes.
A lot of people we know personally, a lot of people that we're fans of. So please understand, like, if you need to shut off for a couple days, like I'm about to do, it doesn't mean the movement stops. It means I don't want to burn myself out and not be able to support friends, family, fans, you know, the movement in general. So don't feel bad if you're not like 24/7 staying up on this, because while it's important to educate yourself, you need to take those mental health breaks. So if I'm silent for the next couple of days, it's not because I don't got 4 more bullets in the gun. It's because I'm tired. I'm so tired.
Badger got to take care of Badger. Hurt. Yes.
My thumbs hurt.
We'll get
and if you have trouble like kind of imagining the scope of it and seeing everything on social media, and if it doesn't affect you, which thankfully it doesn't affect, I'd say, most of wrestling fans, but if it doesn't affect you and you're getting tired of it, imagine how the people it does affect feel and how tired they are of it. Like that's a way to kind of recategorize everything you think about this. Like whether it's the Black Lives Matter movement, like, oh my god, I'm tired of seeing it on my feed. Like, guess how they feel.
Yeah,
they live with it. They live with it 24/7, 365, 366 on fucking leap year. Like, anyone who's dealing with any of the bullshit that's been just put out there, and everyone who's sharing their stories, we hear you, we love you. So sorry that it happened, but proud that you're able to come forward.
Yes.
And if you're not ready to come forward, that's totally fine too.
No.
Take everything at your own pace, however you want to do it. Name names if you want. Don't name names if you don't want. Don't even post it yourself if you don't want. There are plenty of people who you can contact through direct message, say, here's my story. I don't want to post it myself. There are people who will do it for you. I've seen it way too many times to count on my Twitter feed, just from varying, like Jordan Grace, like I know she does it. I've seen other people do it too. Like there's a support structure in place to help. It's not going to minimize what happened, but it may help. It may help the thought process. It may help your moving on with everything that's happened. It may help you process it better. Like just treat it as as appropriate as you see fit. No one's going, like, if anyone tells you you're doing it wrong, fuck them. You do it. You treat your circumstance exactly how you want to treat it. And if you're tired of seeing it and it doesn't affect you, just imagine how they feel.
Yeah. And just to piggyback off of you, Mike, real quick, I do also just want to say, because I know and I really struggle with this with the Me Too movement when it first came out. I also want to just say that while, yes, I'm so proud of everybody that has come forward and shared these very painful, very graphic stories that they've carried for a long time. I'm also just as proud of the people who are still dealing with it and not ready to come forward. Mm-hmm. Please don't feel like just because of this movement that please try not to feel pressured to share your story. If you are not ready, I'm just as proud of you of that. And I've had a lot of people reach out privately and admit that. And please know, I am just as proud of you as I am the person that can spell it out in whatever variety of detail. Your healing is yours alone. So if you need to take, your time, and when you're ready to approach each step, if you need resources, please reach out. Because I have lists and lists of them at this point saved just for a quick, copy paste, whatever. So if you want to reach out, and if you don't have my direct Facebook page or anything, if you're a fan of the show, you can easily reach out to the show and they will get in contact with me. But I just want to quick piggyback off that real quick to kind of just tie a bow on that. Please understand, if you're not ready to come forward, if you're not ready to vocally be a part of the movement, it's okay. And I'm just as proud of you as I am somebody who can come forward. But please understand that your healing journey is not on trend. It is with you alone.
Absolutely. Yeah, you definitely, I don't want to dig deep into what you've been posting and about who, because I don't want to be a kind of a dirt digging show here. I mean, if you are curious what is going on, who are the problem people, check out the Honey Badger's official account on Facebook. You've been doing a lot of that there, and your Twitter account, to be honest, at Regina H. Badger over there too. So so
a lot of people have, honestly. I mean, if you just if you find your local, I'm sure you'll see something either shared, tagged. Right. That's the thing, is this movement is so big that unless you basically have questions about somebody specific or a specific promotion, it should be somewhere
exactly
within your vicinity. And if it's not, just ask your friend. I'm sure you have a friend who's also a big fan of wrestling, and just say, what the fuck's going on?
And part of that, and I'm sorry because I think it segues as well, Mike. Okay. So a resource that was, I'm about 2 segues trying to get into this part.
2 segues.
Yeah, Tina shared with me, and I've seen a couple of these things that you just mentioned in the chat room, and I can drop that in for you too. It's a cool spreadsheet actually that they have in here. I'll just even screenshot for you guys on video.
Yeah, shout out to the Capricorn that put that shit together.
Holy shit. This is basically the shit list that has been compiled of everybody that has. Now, we want to qualify. These are allegations, okay? Yes. These are allegations against individuals. Yes. Obviously,
some are confirmed, but
yes.
A lot of these are allegations. And not that that's an excuse, but
no.
In the interest of fairness,
but
they are allegations.
And I also want to say for people, anyone that comes forward, if you respond to that person with "give me more details" or "name names," you're a fucking asshole.
That is
because that is their fucking journey. That I can't even fathom myself how much mental fortitude that takes to put that out there. I can't even fathom it. Anyone who asks for more details than what anyone is comfortable giving, go fuck yourself and delete yourself off social media, because you don't deserve to have it. People.
It's just a simple respect thing, I don't want to try to downplay any of this because it's so important. but it's almost like if you watched a family member pass away in anywhere from a peaceful to a graphic manner, and you said, my uncle passed away, and somebody went, well, how'd you find him? Who found him? Who called 911? You know what I mean? Like, when you find that really insensitive and inappropriate, like, I don't mean to break it down that simply, but I'm just trying to give a scope to somebody who may not understand at all, like, where this person's coming from.
Yeah, and everything's going to be kind of, and while, the gravity of everything, there is definitely a percentage of this that's going to have to be taken with a grain of salt, right? Because
there is, and we'll get into that.
Yeah, as this goes, you look into the situation, research, especially if it is something like, if it's your home promotion, if it's something like that, like dig enough at the facts that are out there, and social media lesson for everybody. Private messages are not private. If you are worried about the government or Facebook looking at them or whoever or China
or Badger,
and Badger is now on the list too, because I cannot believe how much, and this is already a thing. Like this is already a thing just in life. How many is like, did you see what so and so said? And you'll see a screenshot from a Facebook or private message or Twitter or text or something, right? Like in the last, I want to say 2 or 3 years, I've been astonished and honestly a little bit disturbed at how much I see that casually, right? So there's that. Not to give a reason for people to hide their misdeeds or anything, but
and also for people who have been accused and are issuing apologies, we can also see what kind of tweets you like.
Yes, yes.
Because I know a lot of people are saying,
you comment on.
Yeah,
you're lucky Instagram took away that nice little feature to creep on people and see what posts they like. You're lucky Instagram jumped on that shit, because some of you are dirty. Some of you are so dirty.
We actually had a show.
I see what you liking at 1 a.m. I see you.
We actually
Matt Carlins is saying, before you tweet, ask yourself, do I want Badger to see this?
Yes.
Yeah.
A good way to do that, follow Badger.
However fast you think you can delete it, I'm faster. All right?
Yeah.
I know nobody thinks that, because it's shaped like a fucking potato. You'd be so fucking surprised how fast I am.
Badger is Will Smith in Wild Wild West. You don't want to see your hand where her tweet be at.
You don't want to see your hand.
That's a callback. That's a fucking callback.
Wow. Yeah, documentation.
And to be fair, I want to kind of get that out. Please understand, there are certain things that are said in confidence. I don't want that to become kind of a thing where it's like, I can't confide in Badger. But if you're confiding in Badger that you're being a piece of shit human, I can't make any fucking promises.
There's that, yeah.
I'm not saying like be, biased with who you're confiding in, but I don't play favorites. I don't defend my friends because they're my friends. There's a reason I'm divorced. It's because I was like, you're a fucking asshole. You're being an asshole to your friends. Single Pringle now. I don't give a fuck.
Single Pringle, I've never heard that.
That's good.
But no, just real quick, just to bring it back. Seriously, if the people who are reaching out, because a lot of people have been reaching out with a lot of personal things, I really don't want it to feel like I would use something in a malicious, or I would hope my content, in person and on the internet kind of conveys that. But please don't feel like you can't confide in me with certain things. Like, even with myself, the fact that I'm still sitting on, like, something I can't wait to announce this year, but I contractually can't. If I can sit on that and not expose it, and it's not even anything, like, serious, and it's just for me, then please understand that you can confide in me with serious shit unless you're doing something that's hurting yourself or somebody else. Then all bets are off the table.
God, NDA.
Speaking of confiding, not really feeling too good, so I'm going to take off.
Okay, I won't screenshot that.
What about me? About what? You don't want to screenshot me puking?
You're puking, or the traffic tickets that you admitted earlier. So
hey, at least I told you that, because there's nothing else on me, so you ain't got nothing on me. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. I love you guys.
All right, Ronnie. Yeah. Stay safe. Yeah, and Ronnie was
off. Cut.
Oh, okay, bye.
I can't. Okay, no. Seriously, real quick. There's like a lot of like gross stuff. Like, you know, my true crime obsession. There's a lot of stuff I can handle.
Mm-hmm.
I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to kind of say it so people are considerate. If I see somebody or hear somebody close enough to throw up, I will throw up on command.
Yeah, I'm with that too.
So just please understand, if you're at a show and you're like, I'm feeling queasy, I'm going to be like, baby girl, put your hair up. I'm going to go find somebody to help you, but it is not me. I am not that friend.
I can't be an ally here. So there's that. And God, I feel weird taking. I'm going to not take a break. I'm going to double it up here before we go to the fun stuff here.
Are you sure?
I no, because I feel like we need to keep this momentum of the conversation.
Okay.
It'll be weird.
It's only 10.
It's weird to drop a happy thing.
We should talk about some of the specific action that have been taken by certain companies.
Yes.
That is one of the things, and there is something.
Just the bigger companies that are stepping up and actually putting muscle behind the movement, which is just as important.
I want to talk just so I can set the intentions here before we go to our first break. I want to talk about that, and I do want to get around to some of the bad actors out there in this, on the wrong side of the fence of this, momentarily and just for a moment. But let's talk about the action. Let's talk about the high level stuff, because I mean, indies are doing, I mean, that's hit and miss. I don't even know where we could start with that. Some are saying things like there's been a lot of statements about from AIW to Inspire Pro to Fight Underground.
I can even say, you know, personally, the behind the scenes stuff that even I've just been asked to participate in is so heartwarming. Like, because I personally don't. I know a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people said I'm the most vocal. Like, I don't know if that's necessarily true, but like, that alone, like being asked how to help the change, like, I can't tell you what that guys means. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Wow. Rewind. Let's try that again. I can't tell you what that means to me, guys, that, even my opinion is important enough that you asked that. So, I can tell you, like I said, I'm not going to get into details because obviously that's again private. But I can tell you, even just locally, what I've been asked to do and have some sort of opinion in, like there's going to be a change with the movement. It's not just a hashtag. It's not just what we're focusing on right now this week. There are big changes coming.
Absolutely, and I feel like there's been people that have already been kind of working at this even before this big change. We're going to be talking with.
Oh, absolutely.
We're going to be talking with actually. I want to try to get some more people on, but Marcus can come in and talk to us about the Rise locker room, because it's always been one that's been the most inviting and welcoming place. I mean, you're there, of course. So we're going to get a few people in to kind of talk about that hopefully as a example of what can happen things. So I want to keep that conversation for that, unless Badger, you have anything to say about that situation and your impressions there before we move on.
Yeah. Oh, like right now, or you want to save it for another conversation?
Just give me a preview of that conversation, I suppose. About what does it take to be a safe environment before we talk about what this action that people are doing.
I will say that there's responsibility on both sides. And I want to touch on that a little bit more later. And again, that's something I really want people to just for a second not react emotionally, but respond after processing it. But there's more. I will say there's more responsibility. I don't know how you would measure it, but there's definitely more responsibility on the company side. But there's responsibility on both sides for how we can make this last, because I really think we are at this turning point where it's not going to be the this is the way it's been, this is the way it always will be, secret handshakes and just protecting predators and things like that. There is a way to do it correctly. It's not just this is just the way it is. That mindset alone is how we got here. So you just have to understand that there's a way to do it, but we all have a part that we have to step in and participate in that.
Absolutely. And so we'll get deeper into that. So let's talk about what the big companies are doing, because that is, regardless, that sets an example, right? On everything going on. So let's look at that. There's been a number of movements as names are coming out and people have been moved around, taken off TV, and in some places outright let go. Jack Gallagher has been let go, I believe, in connection to these things. But
Joey Ryan and Dave Christ were let go from Impact, and
Michael Elgin.
I think I knew I was going to mispronounce his name there, but yeah, is
ended due to like further review.
Yes. So statement from Impact to the point that I'm sorry to cut you off, Badger. Even to the point of discussions about like they had to re-edit today's show because the first match involved.
Oh yeah, they took his match out completely.
Yeah. But Crazy Steve, I saw sharing it because it was a match with Crazy Steve actually against.
And he's like, "Yep, we should take it out."
And also, is Joey Ryan's team cancel culture? Is that what I caught?
Yep.
Is that the most ironic of titles right now?
Oh my God. Let me just say nothing. How Joey Ryan ruined dicks. Like, and as
you mean as a concept?
As an avid ally of the dick community, I cannot tell you how I'm like, how did we fuck this up? Okay, the dick minions was, and that's like something I want you to understand. You are allowed to be like, oh, I know it's like, you can't be like, oh, well, I really like him, so we're just gonna put the blinders on. That's not what I'm saying. But you can be like, I'm quoting Dave Chappelle, but it's like, if you found out chocolate ice cream raped a bunch of people, like, oh, but I like chocolate ice cream.
Yeah,
you can be disappointed. It's being disappointed.
It's being disappointed. It really is.
And someone
like there's two levels of it. It's like, ooh, you're fucking gross, like fuck you, but then you also kind of like have that fan, almost like that juvenile younger side that's like, oh man, like
you just explained my Hulk Hogan complex right now.
What did I do?
My Hulk Hogan complex.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just bought the comfiest, softest, most amazing hoodie, but it's by Chris D'Elia. So right now that hoodie is tucked away until the receipts show up.
I got,
but right now it's like, I want to be cozy, but I'm not going to do it.
And these are completely first world asshole problems, but it's like, I got my first ever Hulkmania shirt in my life, like a week before the shit came out about him and what he said. And I was like, I'm not gonna. No,
and it's hard.
It's in a closet somewhere. Yeah.
I bring it down to something that's not even wrestling. Even like this happens a lot in the makeup artistry world with big artists, and they make palettes and stuff. It's like, oh man, like that's my shade. But it's like, you're a garbage human, so now you don't get my money.
Same thing here, partner. Hogan, Warrior, Taker, Bill Cosby. What Taker? What Taker do?
Well,
everybody's
the fact that he wore a Blue Lives Matter shirt for pretty much all of the last ride.
I'll get into that.
I didn't.
Well, maybe we'll get into that. But that's the thing is where. I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, but but it's there's some things you have to. I hope I can kind of get into this later, explain it, because I'm sure somebody's going to take a fucking soundbite or be like, "Here's that quote, just what she said." Like they're going to do that. I understand, but there's certain things. Again, it's not forever. I'm not asking you to change your morals. I'm not asking you to reevaluate your upbringing. I'm saying there's certain things you just gotta listen, just open your ears and listen, and not have any emotion ish with it, because this is that Blue Lives thing. I'm not defending that. I'm not gonna get into my personal beliefs and say it on camera, but you gotta just chill.
I'm gonna take the advice of someone who, and don't laugh when I say who this is. Someone who has meant a lot in my life and has taught me has kind of informed my moral compass a lot of times. And that, of course, is Spider-Man.
Oh, Jesus.
No.
Sorry, I'm not a Spider fan.
I know. We've had this discussion.
Yeah, I know.
But Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man assumes that the head scientist of a company is a male. And Miles informs him that it's a female. And he's like, oh, I'll re-examine my personal biases. That's all we need to do.
Yeah.
That's all we need to do. It really is. Like, anything, any kind of, you need to establish what personal biases you have, take a look at the world, and like you said, Badger, stop and listen and re-examine. And if you come to the same conclusion, okay, there ain't much we can do for you on that.
Yeah.
But at least sit with people you disagree with and listen.
Yes.
Yes,
it's so that I can't tell you the amount of growth you will do. And obviously, and I've even done this. That's the thing I want to say is, like, anything that I kind of express, I am not saying like I have it all figured out. Like, I've learned very quickly, like, how you have to shut up and put your emotions aside for a second and just say, let me hear and understand, because I guarantee a lot of you will actually have a lot more peace in your life, not just with your friends and your family. And again, there's an asterisk with all of this, but I'm just explaining that you will find how much more peace you have in your life when you sit down and just say, you know what, explain it to me, because I don't get it. I'm just saying, you gotta
okay.
Hold it in, have a notebook if you really need to, if you need bullet points, but just
so moving on, back on task. So we talked about Impact momentarily, and I was also always surprised because Mike Elgin was still getting work considering previous accusations, but obviously that temperature has changed. The other one, and this has been, I think Tina had mentioned this when she shared that this should be an example for others in dealing with this, because Sammy Quivira, I'm not, you know my thoughts on him. And I didn't even know he was this much of a piece of shit. I mean, I suspected, but they had a statement, and not only said they were suspending him without pay, and mentioned that he has agreed to undergo extensive sensitivity training, and they'll really evaluate, et cetera, but also during his suspension, that salary will be donated to the Women's Center of Jacksonville.
That's great.
That is like, we're not just going to slap somebody on the hand. Like, there are multiple points there. In most cases, which unfortunately I closed that Impact Wrestling one, but in most cases, like, this person has been suspended. Upon further review, we're investigating the matter. You'll get that kind of statement on something. And in this case, obviously, it was something he outright said. And I'll be honest, because I haven't looked into it, because I don't want to know. Not to ignore, but just there's enough negativity on my internet right now.
It's not great what he said.
I know it's probably not great what he said.
No. I mean, I heard the audio clip of it. Like, he's explained it as like a shock humor joke.
Yeah,
and I'm like, jokes have structure, jokes have context. It wasn't a joke. It was just an asinine, out of context statement.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I know he apparently talked to Sasha. Sasha did not, in her statement, I'm just going by her statement. I don't know, what she feels, but I'm going by what she has put out there. She never stated that she has forgiven Sammy, which, again, she doesn't have to. No one has to. And Sammy immediately liked another tweet saying that, like, basically absolving him, saying it was a joke. And then when people got on Sammy's case about that, he unliked that tweet. I know, because I checked.
Good point on this. Good point on this from Tina in relation to all this. Hence why it's great to have someone like Brandy Rhodes, whether you agree or not, in a position of senior management.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have, and I know she probably represents the majority of the diversity in that senior management, but still, you got somebody to say, that's the point, right? And you don't see that in the management structures of other companies. I
will say, maybe AEW, since they are sending Sammy Guevara to sensitivity training, they should probably take the initiative. Instead of having more stuff come out, why not send everyone?
Mm-hmm.
It couldn't hurt. Like, someone very high up in AEW told me this past week, we could all be more sensitive to each other. And that was because I said Jim Ross should go to sensitivity training. Because if you've heard his commentary, various forms of offense are taken. At least I find it difficult to listen to him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I said, maybe you should take up sensitivity training. I got a lot of people attacking me, telling me to shut the fuck up. And then AEW spins right around and says that's what they're going to do for Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they should look inward a little bit and listen to, I guess, would be a vocal minority of their fans who think that there are some issues.
I mean, that's where you get feedback, is those mass trainings and everything like that. And that's on a scale. Even my my day job, like right now, everybody in the US is actually temporarily furloughed, but they still send out like weekly statements. They are and it's not going to be cheap, because we're a bigger company and there's a lot of people that work on very different levels. They are part of, like, while trying to hold things down with a skeleton crew with dealing with COVID and trying to protect us, they are sitting there and actually having conversations and reformulating all of our training that we are going to be mandatory to complete before we're allowed to come back when the time comes. So, and even talking about, we're going to actually go back earlier because there's going to be so much training on both levels so again, I think that there's nothing, the way that things change these days, there's nothing wrong with having, even every 6 months, like, hey, how is this going? What are your concerns? Let's get it. Because people are more open to, some people are more anonymous, like they like the form where they write it and it's anonymous. But a lot of people, when you put them in a group setting, I've literally done studies on this, so I'm not pulling this out of my ass. They are more comfortable in a setting of their peers, especially in a work environment where they're all the same level for the most part. They're more comfortable coming forward because they feel supported either way. So it's not a bad idea to have this anywhere. You could have it a month, 3 months, 6 months, whatever. It's not a bad idea to sit down and say, what are your concerns? Like, what's going on? How is this working? Oh, it's not working? All right. We tried it, scrap it. Like, there's not, like, you got to understand too, on the flip side of things, there's gonna be a lot of trial and error. Like, we're all learning at a very quick pace, and we're all learning day by day, moment to moment. Like, oh, you know what? I was wrong. Let me reevaluate it. Let me do my homework, and I'll come back to this. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sorry, just I'm catching up with some stuff, and we got JR says every female on the roster is a Jezebel. That's a negative term, and that's one we've heard for years. But that's how we classified women's wrestling in the 90s and everything, and over the years. Unfortunately,
someone who because JR quote tweeted me. That's why a lot of people were responding to me and telling me how wrong I was. I'm like, just because it's the way JR has done it since the late 80s, early 90s, that doesn't mean it's acceptable. Like, there are a lot of things that happened back in the late 80s, early 90s that were not acceptable, but happened on the regular just because we as a society weren't prepared to deal with a lot of stuff like that. At least the people that it wasn't directly affecting. Like there are so many terms that are just used and overused, and it's not great. And JR is not the only culprit. I will say that JR is not the only culprit. Jerry Lawler, when he was on commentary, he was 10 times worse. There are even times where I don't like what Corey Graves says. especially when there are female competitors in the ring. Like, everyone needs to re-examine how they talk about their product, because it's not just a poor reflection on the people performing, it's a poor reflection on the company.
Right. It's definitely going to be a big change for everything. We talked about that. We talked about WWE. I'm not up on WWE statement just yet, and it's pretty buried on the website, so good luck finding it. But I know there was one that was made in the last day or so, if I'm not mistaken. I think mostly calling out the UK talent. Did I dream that? Is that a statement that came out, or have they?
I don't remember seeing that.
Maybe I'm just. It's hard to statements versus things you read on a website in the wrestling world, I guess. But that's been a big thing. Yeah, the UK wrestling, NXT UK, a lot of names off of that as well. When we said that wrestling was going to be different when we came back, I don't think we ever expected this, and it is, and it's going to be hopefully. I'll say it's cleaned up a little bit, and I'm glad that there's these initiatives. So there's a negative side. It's been brought up in the chat room, so I want to at least for a moment address it. Also with this rise of speaking out is the rise of some false accusations. I think, and forgive me if I have not read the situation appropriately, but I think Matt Riddle, for instance, appears to be an ongoing issue with a stalker or something, maybe. In what's come out there, I could be wrong on that, but
there's due diligence that has to be done on
absolutely
a lot of the names, especially when it comes to, and I hate to say it because it sounds like it's a double standard, but the bigger names, there's more potential for false accusations. That's not necessarily always the case, but there is more potential for that, and it all just needs to be investigated. And until proven otherwise, we need to believe the accusers.
Absolutely.
Yes, but that goes back to that. There's responsibility on both sides, and it's a hard conversation. And once again, I really hope anybody who has watched my social media or heard me speak or interacted with me, that you understand like where I stand. But you have to stop for just half a second. And again, not saying that anybody who comes forward that you should second guess them, but you also have to understand that there is that slight bit for error, and understand that not everybody is coming from a genuine good place. And that's not to protect the people that, again, have done horrible things. That's just, it's a fact. And we have to sit down, and while it doesn't protect them, it doesn't make it any less wrong. You have to understand that just like there can be garbage people doing these things, there's garbage people on the other side who want the hashtag, who want to feel included in the worst way possible. And again, I can't say this enough. I am not doubting. I am not victim shaming. I am not doubting anything anybody says. But if the receipts come back, you have to understand that can go both ways. Granted, it's like
it's a 90-10.
Yeah, 90-10. No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
It might be 95-5. That's how small it is. But you have to understand that as someone who's personally seen it happen, you have to understand that there's just as much human error on the other side.
Absolutely. I think we've covered all the angles of this. And again, I was hopefully talking to more fans of wrestling than in wrestling with this conversation today. Obviously, this is a bigger conversation, and I do invite you. A lot of this conversation is happening on our Facebook group. Matt Mike's having this conversation, obviously, on Twitter with people, including JR, apparently. I pulled up his tweets. I also discovered that you won a bottle of barbecue sauce in 2011, because that was the tweet under it.
Oh, yeah, I have a DM from JR asking for my address.
Yes, so...
So I mean, you
it
know,
all comes
it goes
together.
both ways.
It goes both ways. Yes.
And this is apropos of nothing.
Yes.
This barbecue sauce is delicious.
Oh, it's wonderful. No,
apropos of nothing.
Too. Yeah.
It's great. If you have a nice Angus steak, throw a little sauce on there.
Yes. Yes.
I'd say try to acquire it illegally, but that's me. He doesn't need any more money. You know.
Oh boy. Anyways, so all right, let's lighten it up a little bit here. And again,
oh my God!
Please again have that discussion. With us on the Mayhem show. Badger's around too, over there. So on the group. So okay. And her DMs are open.
My DMs are open.
Yes.
But remember, as quick as you think you are, I'm faster.
Those DMs are open and screenshotable.
Yes, exactly.
If you see something, screenshot something.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hey, that's the new thing. That's the new campaign. So from there, so in positivity, since I skipped the thing, we got a lot of stuff going on. Indy Wrestling US, Indy Wrestling.network. Going to be getting some new content over Indy Wrestling Network very soon. I know it's been a little bit of a drought, but so is everything. But we've been working on our friends. Of course, Prospect Pro Wrestling has been having some great matches come up. They got a great 6-man tag coming up on Wednesday night for new content from the training sessions, as well as the Quarantine Challenge. So go check that out. We have not announced that match yet, but I can tell you it's in the can and ready to go, and that'll be up shortly. Also, in the big news in the local scene, Fight Underground just had their very first debut match that just came up tonight. It debuted tonight. It was AJ Alexander, the what is he, the Sultan of the Neckbreaker or something? I can't remember what that name is. I'm sure he's changed it by now. And the Rev Ron Hunt. A great match. I want to say no fans. There were definitely some roster members watching that. You can check out the pre-interview with Jim LaMotta, the sit-down that debuted on Monday night. The match went down tonight, and the Fallout post-match interview will be happening on Wednesday night on the Fight Underground Facebook page, as well as their YouTube and as well and Instagram. So please go check those out. Check out some new wrestling from the greater Pittsburgh area over there. A lot of great stuff coming out of this Fight Underground project, and a lot to come for sure. So go check all that stuff out. And while we're at it, let's just calm down and have a slice on Broadway right here in Pittsburgh.
The holy food.
The holy food. There you go. I got a text from Badger like, I'm a bit slice. I'm like, what are you doing there? So it was like,
kicking the door in.
Kicking the door in, obviously.
Well, no, I didn't have to because they had it open. Remember?
Yeah,
I was like, look, it's working. They got sick of going to Home Depot because this door's wide open.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, partner. But now all the bugs are getting in.
They're also no. They had the screen door, but you can't kick that in because then you get caught up.
If you kick in the screen door, you're the asshole.
Yeah, really.
Best slice ad ever. Go check out sliceonbroadway.com, supporting us for a good long time here on the show. Guys, we're going to
be featured on one of my levels on Patreon coming out. Not right now because there's more important things going on, so I've been holding on to that too.
Okay.
There is a Patreon coming, and I have many tiers for many interests, and Slice will be actually featured as part of that.
Hey, it's good.
Grab a slice of Badger tier.
Yeah. Hey, there's Chachi. I mean, I'll throw this shout out here. It has nothing to do about wrestling. I don't think I mentioned on the show. Our buddy Chachi has a project called Put a Pickle on It.
Yes.
And it's amazing. And it's him putting pickles on food items and reviewing it. And the fan.
Sorg, do we have a name for the pickle yet? For the mascot? I know there was a poll.
He told it to me the other day. I cannot remember it. I don't even know if it's public yet. No, I think it was because I can't remember it. But he had a behind the scenes video he did for one of his higher tiers, and then got permission to put it out publicly because it was so good. He does a behind the scene video, making a video called Behind the Brine.
Behind the Brine.
So
that's good.
Doing some good pickle work over there. So go check it out. Put a pickle on it. on your Facebook and YouTube. Some good stuff there. We just need a break and just want to watch a man eating some pickles. Doing good work. We'll
it's
be
all
right.
about balance. Sometimes you got to watch some cartoons. Sometimes you got to watch somebody put a pickle on it.
That's right. We're going to hear from Katie, and we'll be right back with a big question. All right. I need to prep the...
alcohol-based episodes, because picklebacks are delicious.
Yes, they are.
Picklebacks, Bloody Marys. Oh.
Well, I don't think he can do a week's worth because he does a week back-to-back.
I could do a week's worth of pickled drinks.
Well, of course you could.
One of my friends is in Texas. She just said she had a pickle slushy. I'm like, that sounds delightful.
I heard Lay's is coming out with a pickle flavor for one of the next, like, that voting shit, like how we got chicken and waffle one.
Excellent.
I felt bad because I pointed out the Mountain Dew Doritos, and he was checking every store looking for it, and we didn't realize it was only in Australia.
Oh, I hate that shit, man. I hate that. God damn it.
Listen, man, there's no borders anymore. What are we talking about? Come on.
Well,
no,
I beg to differ right now.
There's borders around New Zealand because they're free of coronavirus.
Save my life.
What's that?
I said I can't get out of the fucking U.S. to save my life.
No. Chachi was supposed to.
I fit in most overhead compartment spaces because that's the only way I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Get in
I was
head
gonna
first.
say, drunk on a bet you can get to Canada.
Holy shit! Keith Lee just posted.
I think there's a mega bus to Canada.
Keith Lee just posted when he got drugged in a bar and taken advantage of. Holy shit! Keith Lee.
But please hold on. Put a star next to that because that's something that has to be made vocal before we. I know we're gonna try to get it on the upswing, but I mean I guess I'll just say it here too. But to male workers, refs, management, it is just as important that you, as a male, if you have been abused in any way, shape, or form, your story is just as valid, just as supported as far as your healing goes as it is. I know we see a lot of predominantly female in these movements, and that's for obvious data-based reasons, but it is just as important that you come forward. And you have to understand, a lot of this toxic masculinity culture is the fact that as a man, if you come forward, that you are less of a man, or you're you're made to look weak. And that's not the case. And just please understand, again, when you're ready, it is just as important that you come forward, and we are here to support you just as much. When you're ready to tell your story, when you're ready for the next step towards your healing, your stories are just as important. And it's so important right now, again, to set an example. And this is everywhere. This is locally. This is all the way to the top. And that's why that clicked to my memory. You are just as much a part of the speaking out movement as the women in the situation, and the non-binary and the trans people coming forward. You are not excluded from this movement.
Well stated.
Jeez, that I just read his. Oh God, that's fucking hell.
Yep.
Oh boy. Can we go back to talking about pickles? God damn.
Hold on, I need to figure out what the match is. Badger, I didn't mention that we have homework for this episode.
Damn it! I asked you.
Did you?
It's okay. We've been busy.
We were concentrating on everything else.
Because that seems to be where everybody can keep up.
What? There's a lot of voices happening.
Yeah.
Right now. One of them didn't sound like either of you, and that got scary.
Storg was setting up a video.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh God. Jesus.
Hear that? Or we've
like,
both just become really good ventriloquists.
Only because Mickie James did come.
Okay, that's the one that we just did.
I mean, I have a lot of monologue in my head, but I'm like, oh, it's too loud. This is
probably my favorite
911
ladder match of
they're,
all time.
They're a little bit louder. I need my cocktail.
This is July 1st, 2002.
I think I'm going the wrong way on
Undertaker
these.
defending. Mine a lot of things that American audiences might not be familiar with. This is very much the luchador.
Okay, that sounds new.
Yeah, it sounds new.
You're so happy. You're so excited for this.
He's giving us more stinkers than winners. I'll say that.
Well, you haven't seen his work.
What is this?
What is happening?
The fucking weekly assignments.
Professor Jacob Bedwin gives us the assignments. So our assignment is, and maybe you can just recall the era, is for this week was Mickie James versus Beth Phoenix from about 2008.
Yeah, April 2008.
Yeah. It was a title match.
It was a nice little 6 to 7 minute match on Raw. Very good.
Yep. All right. Big question with the.
Oh, can we have a light big question?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I intend to.
Like, what's your favorite dick joke? I don't know. Something.
I'm gonna be here a while.
You'll be here a while.
There's no way there's one.
like we just need something light and airy just to put us. Hey, you know what? Fuck it, Sorg. I got the big question.
Okay, let's do it.
I got the big fuck it. I have it. As soon as I was talking myself into it.
I'm still gonna fuck it up, but go ahead.
It's fine.
You
All
can't
right.
fuck it up.
Everybody wins. We are here. It is the Indy Mayhem. No, that's not what this is. What's happening?
Shaking. There's a whole lot of shaking.
Oh, I'm
on.
trying to get the rest of my white male tear juice here because I'm thirsty.
Indie promoter.
Oh wait, I don't want to do those slurpy noises. That's another Patreon level.
That's right, Neil. Make him pray for that.
Can't be giving away that prime content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we are on gold right now.
Badger nudes out there that I put out 10 years ago, even though I wasn't wrestling 10 years ago.
You know, I'm so happy you didn't mention Badger nudes on the main show, because I don't think we could handle that.
That's why I was like, I'm not worried because I know those don't exist.
What a weird threat out of nowhere.
Oh. And here's the thing. This is also where there's like a double standard that we don't want to talk about. But if I don't think I'm gonna be honest. Now I will say, if I've ever honestly done anything that's made somebody uncomfortable, I would hope that you would call me the fuck out and have that conversation with me so that I can learn to be a better human. However, if I had to sit in front of the camera and have an apologetic statement about how sorry I am that you got a nude from me. Now I'm good at angles, but the only way you could be offended is like, oh man, I didn't know what mashed potatoes look like when you put them back in the bag after you make them, but that's the only way you could get offended. But again, I've never had somebody be like, oh, I'm really uncomfortable. I'm really uncomfortable with that picture of your honey pot you just sent me. I'm having a really hard time believing that anybody's upset about that or would be upset because everybody wants to see it. Even if you think it's garbage, you want to see it.
I'm sure someone has responded, I'm having a really hard time with us.
Yeah. I know. Oh, you poor thing. Oh, you got
no. Phrasing.
Got a picture of somebody's ass. I'm so
phrasing.
Sorry. Oh,
phrasing.
I see.
Yeah. I was trying to help you out.
A really hard time with this.
There it is.
All right,
see, we still have dick jokes, guys. It's not all doom and gloom. We still have dick jokes. We will always have dick jokes.
Yeah. Dick minions are ruined, however. Or dick druids. They were dick druids.
Yeah, they were dick druids.
Those are ruined. Those are
So in other words, dick minions still on the table.
Oh man.
Honey brazzers.
Oh, you know what? In fact,
honey brazzers.
Let's subvert it. Let's go testicle minions. You come out 2x2s.
No.
You come out 2x2s.
Please stop sending it. Please, nobody. It's not cute. Anyway.
It would take real balls to do that.
Leave.
Roll it back. Roll it back.
Just
roll it back. Roll it back.
Okay, roll back. Oh my god. If I was your father, I would cut off the internet so fucking fast.
We are. No, that is his own basement. Thank you.
Oh god.
My father lives with me.
Wrestling Mayhem show back here. We've taken a breather, and we are here, and we have Mad Mike with us. We have the Honey Badger with us. Hello,
Queen of screenshots.
Queen of screenshots with us, and we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun because that's what we like to do on this show. Everybody left after we stopped being serious, so no, I see you out there in the chat room. See your
I
wheels.
was say like, damn.
No, it's okay. We still have partner. We still have partner asking what the content is on Honey Brazzers.
Anyways, we do have.
That's still one of my finest puns.
We do have a big question, and Mad Mike will deliver that.
Big question, Mad Mike. I almost called you Big Mike. That's.
I mean,
no,
tomato. God
damn it!
I'm overweight. I accept that. It's fine. That's how I identify. Anyway.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so during our break, we were like, God, we need to lighten it up. Mm-hmm. Like, the world is a shitty fucking place right now. And we were trying to think of a big question, and suddenly it came to me. When you are in a shitty mood, as I'd imagine a lot of us are right now, what is the one wrestling match that is your happy place that you go to unwind?
Ooh. Oh wow. Oh, this could get tricky, but we're gonna. This is our version of the floor's lava, but let's do it.
Yeah.
Well,
if you guys want to think, I have mine already.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So for me, whenever I just need to unwind and relax, I always throw on the 92 Rumble.
Oh man.
Always. It to me is still the perfect match. Mm-hmm. It's the perfect match. Like, you normally wouldn't say that about a match that's over an hour, but everything works about it. The roster in that Rumble is stacked beyond borders. Like, I think that Rumble still has maybe the most Hall of Famers in it. And you know the story. It's Ric Flair comes in at number 3, and the first thing you hear is Bobby Heenan going, "Damn it!"
Oh, the best.
Like, Bobby Heenan. Like, if not for Bobby Heenan doing commentary in that match, it would be just a good Rumble.
Yeah.
Bobby Heenan makes that match because he breaks every cardinal rule of announcing by being so personally invested that you want to see what happens if Ric Flair gets eliminated, but you also want to see what happens if he wins and how Heenan reacts to both. And the best thing is, Heenan fucking leaves commentary. As soon as Flair wins, he's like, I gotta go celebrate. And Monsoon closes out the show alone. Like there's so many little bits in it, like Ric Flair taking everyone's finisher under the sun. And I've mentioned this before, his first interaction with Shawn Michaels in WWE ever with the "I'm sorry, I barely know you" super kick. It puts a nice button to their beginning and end storylines in WWE. Like the Roddy Piper, like when Flair's alone in the ring and the next one that comes out is Roddy Piper, who has a huge rivalry with Flair. It's literally a perfect match. It's a perfect match. So that's my wrestling happy place. 92 Rumble.
Okay, I dig. It's one of my happy places. I can't remember the last time I pulled up an old match just for like comfort, like chill kind of thing like that. But that if I would have to pick, that would be one of them. But I go back to when I had, like, I would rent tapes and do the dubs, so I had them like on these 6-hour tapes and everything. You know, I guess proto tape trader or something. And the things that I would put in the most I feel like one is WrestleMania 9.
Yes.
Because
yes, I love where this is going already.
Well, it's again that kind of spot where it was like the pinnacle of everything I grew up with in wrestling to that point, right? Because you did have the mega, the Hulk Hogan and Brutus mega, the Mega Maniacs.
The Mega Maniacs.
Was it really what they called them?
I believe so.
You had Money Inc. You had the Steiners. You had, and it was so different. I was just taken by how different it was, being the Caesar's Palace, Roman Colosseum look to it. That's why I kind of love some of these more recent projects people are doing now, including one that we're involved in, that there's these thematic things to it. That I just always dug, pay-per-views where a theme carries through like that, right? The interactions were amazing. From Bobby Heenan.
The commentary on that show.
The commentary.
Top notch.
Oh, the commentary team on that show is just legendary, literally legendary, between Macho JR and Heenan. It checks all the boxes. It's a mania. The
Doink Crush match. Oh, that's forever gold. That's forever gold.
It was the second Doink. It's when we first saw a second Doink, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and
it was
the
first time we saw a second Doink.
Yeah.
I remember little me being blown away. Like I'm like, this must be how it felt when Gorilla asked, "How can there be two Dave Hebners?"
Yeah. Oh, jeez, there's a moment. I think a backup for that, for general comfort throwback, like one thing I loved, like just kind of revisiting, is main events. I actually still have a Saturday Night's Main Event best of tape, Coliseum Home videotape, like in the big boxes, the clamshells, not the extended cardboard. That was always a good throwback for me. Like those tapes were my thrhrowbacks, not like an event, but like those. I guess we were talking matches.
Oh yeah. If I had to pick an event, it'd be SummerSlam '89. Because that was the first pay-per-view that I ever memorized commentary and promos. Like you could give me any promo from that show and I could probably recite it.
And I think we were talking about like wrestlers kind of being ruined for you and things like that. Somebody in the chat room talk about their happy place is kind of controversial now. I still, to a point, I feel you can return to how that was and go to that place, somewhat, I hope.
That happens in music a lot too.
Yeah. I mean, how many people felt awkward about listening to Michael Jackson for the longest time, right?
Yeah. Michael Jackson, R. Kelly.
Yeah.
Prince,
I mean,
there was a big controversy for a while until the receipts came through with a band called Diane Ward that's from South Africa. And until the receipts came through, I was like, ooh, man, I'm not. It's hard. It's hard, and you're allowed to feel like that. We're not saying again, like there's a lot. A lot of comments when people are like, "Oh, you just want us to have your opinion." No, it's not that. It's just like maybe look at the situation. But you're allowed to still enjoy it without sharing the views of who created it.
You're allowed to enjoy it, but it's also okay if you like. It is seriously hard for me to watch a Chris Benoit anything, right? Yeah, it's like, oh, he was so good, but it was like,
like WrestleMania 20 is still one of my favorite shows I've ever been to live, despite what that main event was.
For instance, I still will, because this just came up. It was literally asked by Jonathan Gresham last week, like, what was one of your favorite matches? And still to this day, one of the favorite indie matches I've ever seen is Jonathan Gresham and David Starr in the main event of Super Indy that went like 45 minutes, and that was their third match of the night, both of them.
Wow.
And live switching that video was such a pleasure and such a cool thing, where everything hit and experiencing that match from that angle. and secondary is always Super Hentai and Troy Lords in the ladder match.
Balls hot.
Yeah, balls hot. Very balls hot at the time. In Fuego. Anyways, we'll go around. We'll finish this off. Badger, do you have one?
For me personally, see that's what's so tricky, because I can't honestly say it's a match, because like if I enjoy a match, I enjoy a match. But I will say, like, if I need a laugh, there's more like segments, and anytime that I need a laugh. Now, I can't say that. I always pop still for the Money in the Bank where CM Punk left the night that his contract ended at midnight. I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for being a mark for that, but that still was like, that was again,
that was ultimate wish fulfillment.
This was before I was, involved in wrestling like I am, so it was still real to me. But I was like, what are they gonna do? He's leaving. He's not coming back.
And then
he ran through the steps. That means it's real. Like that.
And they put it in his fridge.
Yeah, that whole story that's on his DVD that I No, I own that fucking DVD, and I love that opening of him working out really hard for 15 minutes just for the opening of that. But I will say that match. But I love any New Day segment is all the New Day and the Iconics. I always go to because I know I'll be like howling, like. I thought of you, Mad Mike, the other day because there's a possibility of getting another pet if things work out in the long run. But I literally was like, should I name it Kayla? Just so I could be like, hey, Kayla!
I was hoping that's where you were going with this.
Kayla, come get these kibbies!
Please do this.
If I ever procreate, that kid is going to hate its life when it's in school, because if you don't think I'm gonna pull up to pick that kid up, the piece of shit kid from school, every time it'd be like, roll down the window, hey Kayla!
Wow.
And we should also shout out, happy birthday, Billy Kay. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Billy. But yeah, if you think I'm beyond procreating for a good joke, y'all don't. You are not familiar with my work.
Oh,
you know, side and
now,
also runner up for most comfort watch is that OBGYN segment with Maria Kanellis.
I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that for many fucking reasons.
We talked about plenty last time you were on. Where are you going?
Kayla!
Well, I'm trying to pull that in, but just remembering just two grown-ass men in suits.
Yep.
About,
you go check out her last appearance if you're interested in that. We went over that.
Again.
Tina, again, kind of reiterating what we're talking about. Tina says she's a story person, build really follow along David Starr and Jordan Devlin. Obvious reasons why we question with that. Checked all the boxes, kept me on the edge of the seat. The Dublin crowd was amazing all the way through. Nostalgia, more or less, was World Championship Wrestling Starrcade 85 feud between Flair and Dusty. There you go.
Ooh.
There you go. Well, that is...
And one...
Hold on, sorry. We had a couple others.
Oh, did I miss? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Podner says Sasha versus Bayley in Brooklyn.
Oof, yes.
Which, being live for that, yes, I completely agree. That's also really high on my list. Oh, man. And Wheels says AJ versus Daniels versus Joe. From Impact. I forget the name of the pay-per-view that was on, but...
Yeah.
Real quick, just off the people that are like really struggling with the whole thing, I'll do one of these. I will say it's not appropriate now, and I was much younger and much more immature when I saw this, but I will never forget the day that Santino Marella went to do the Cobra, and skinny Jinder Mahal jumped up on that apron with a flute and made it turn on himself. if you don't think I will lay down on the ground and laugh every time I see that, super inappropriate. It just, it's not like, but if you think I will not laugh at that back and forth, I'm sorry. I'm an awful person then, because I'm gonna laugh every time. That's the funniest shit I've ever seen.
I think if you're copying a Chikara bit, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen people.
But what they were doing to gender was not like the way they were.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
That was very inappropriate. That's what I'm saying by it's inappropriate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Fair.
I'm not like, I would never like post that or like promote it.
Yeah.
But if you know what I'm talking about, if you think I'm gonna laugh remembering that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did feel bad because I shared something from like 10 years ago, and I realized how many, like, I'm like, oh, this doesn't play well today. Some old matches.
So much. That's a fun game to play.
That's a man. I remember this being wild, and then like I'm here listening to the commentary. I'm like, oh, that's rough. That's rough. So, yeah. I
mean, for years, one of my favorite terms was tonsil hockey, which I learned from the King.
Well, it's
not appropriate anymore.
Let me tell you a Jerry Lawler story when we're off air. Anyways.
Oh boy.
Mike, you know this. It's not big or surprising. But
that's what she said.
Still got it.
Well, it's been a good night. We'll see you guys next time.
Mad Mike, will we put out a statement about Mad Mike's sensitivity training?
Hey, you know what? If it's me making fun of Jerry Lawler, I'll own up to that.
Yeah.
If JR doesn't tweet that you're in sensitivity training, I don't want it. I don't want that feud.
So, so our homework. We have homework tonight.
We have homework,
and that was.
I didn't do the homework.
I forgot to tell you about it.
It's okay. You were doing extra credit in the same subject.
Yeah, you were doing. Yeah.
You were doing all the extra credit.
Yeah, you put the work in over the weekend, so that's fine.
You were stopping cheaters from copying each other's homework. It's fine.
Wow. Okay.
I don't even know what that means necessarily, but I think it works.
Mickie James versus Beth Phoenix for whatever the title was called then. Women's, I think it was. I don't know.
No.
Was it Divas?
Oh yeah, Women's Championship.
Okay.
Women's.
From WWE RAW, April 14th, 2008. This is Jacob Evans' assignment of the week. We watched it, Mike and I. I'm sure you have some ideas or thoughts about this era as we get to this. Mike, I have notes, and it wasn't really. I mean, it wasn't really about the match, but I love, especially watching these Raws from like 10, 15 years ago, as we have been, kind of noticing like the background.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
signs.
Charlotte found a way to get into this match too.
Yeah, what was the sign about Charlotte?
Someone just had a sign that said "Hi Charlotte." I'm like, how the fuck did she get booked in this match?
Yeah. Oh, so I saw.
What the fuck?
I saw one that says
she was Ashley then.
Yeah. She had. I saw one. The one that caught my attention was I bought my ticket when Cena got injured.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, it's just like,
I also saw a sign that said "Maria, make me dinner." I'm like, that's not. That
doesn't play well either. So
that's not great. And plus, from what I've seen from Mike Kanell, she's not a great cook. So I mean, you know, I'm kidding. That's a joke.
Okay,
that's just a joke.
Okay,
but going back to the match is fucking fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I would like it to have more time, and in the modern age of Raw, it would probably have at least 15 to 20 minutes more. But hot damn, Mickie James and Beth Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. This was the glimmer of hope in this era, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you saw who came out and realized who was around at that time.
Yeah, because on commentary they say that Beth won the title from Candice Michelle.
Oh,
and not to disparage Candice Michelle, but not exactly a catch-as-catch-can wrestler.
No, not entirely. And I believe they said on commentary that Mickie had not beat her, and this has to be judged by her wardrobe, because she had obviously originally, I believe, beat Trish Stratus for the belt. So I think at Mania, correct? Yeah. So
at Mania, ending scene of match redacted.
Yes.
Yeah, on the network, that famous scene that we all remember from the end of that Mickie James match is not on the network.
Oh, it didn't make anything. If you didn't see it live, you didn't see it. You didn't make the DVD. You didn't make anything. Should we explain what happened?
Nope.
Yeah, I actually don't know this.
Oh, all right. So
I could obviously list. I'm sure I'm in somewhere in the realm of what's going to happen, but for specifics, I'm not familiar with this.
Okay, so the storyline was Mickie James was portraying a lesbian stalker. Now, whether she was actually being a lesbian stalker or very complicated mind games is kind of up for debate. But there's a scene there's a shot in the match where Trish is getting ready to go for the Stratisfaction. She has Mickie in the headlock. And before Trish is about to jump, Mickie reaches her other hand between Trish's legs to break the hold.
Mm-hmm.
And because it freaked Trish out, it's like when Goldust used to kind of goose people, I guess.
Yeah.
And which that part is still, as far as I know, in the match.
Okay.
It's what happened afterwards because Mickey's a storyteller, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Mickie took her hand and ran it across her face with the whole licking thing and making the Vader sign.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Now
and they zoomed in on her face for it too.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, credit where it's a terrible moment, but it's a great shot.
Mm-hmm. It's a great shot, and when you're watching that with a bunch of friends in college, it got your attention.
It was the biggest pop of that Mania.
Yeah,
I bet it was the biggest pop.
Because it's like, oh, we're going there? Okay.
Because Mickey's laughing and being her psychotic self.
Yes.
Like, Mickey's selling it as
Psycho
more
Mickie
mind
was
games,
so
too.
good. Psycho Mickie was so good.
But, see, and this is where... This is... All I can see very vividly is the man that made sure to over-mansplain this to her, because I guarantee... Vinnie Mac, Pat McMac was like, make sure you really, really sell that part.
Yeah.
And that's the part where I'm like,
it's kind of like,
is why we're here right there.
It's kind of like I on paper don't like I don't not like the idea that we have these ninjas on Raw right now, but I don't like the path that probably led to us getting there. Like, the backroom discussion was probably not pretty, right? The discussion was probably, do we fire Tozawa or do we have him be a ninja? Yeah.
That was probably it.
I illustrated my thoughts on that. But anyways, back to the homework.
Yes.
Very good. It was Mickie was getting beat down a lot, and there was a flash win. There was a
surprise victory roll.
A
reversal from the Glam Slam,
mm-hmm.
which was great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's honestly a fantastic match. It's from April 2008. I highly recommend it.
Yeah,
it's great. Like, it's only 6-7 minutes long. It's not, it's not going to win any distance records for time. But honestly, if that match went 20 minutes longer, I'd still be okay with it.
And if you tune into the segment before it, you'll see the hot tag team of Carlito and Santino.
Ooh.
Nice.
No.
Carlino.
I don't know.
I'm guessing.
Carlino. There's not much else to say about it. It was a really good quick match.
It was fun.
Easy assignment this week, I guess.
And commentary was mostly okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly okay. It was King and JR, so there's some problem areas there.
Yeah. They weren't quite as long in the tooth, but they were getting there by that time.
Well, I mean, they also love Mickie James.
Mm-hmm.
So that's on display. But yeah, sensitivity training.
I don't think it existed back then.
God, sensitivity training.
Is that our new thing when we start talking about JR now?
It is now.
It is, yeah, basically.
Hey, you know what? He put me on blast. I'm gonna put him on blast.
There you go.
My blast is a lot lower reach, but I'll take it. Sorry, what'd you say, Badger?
I was gonna say, what's your comeback product? You know how like you have to feud and they come out with like a product. Like Joe Exotic came out with like all that bullshit that didn't have anything to do with like an election. Like what's your like revenge product? Like he has barbecue sauce. Like are you gonna come out with like the cranch or the whatever the mixture they're doing now? Like some really like, oh, that's not okay.
What if I came out with sensitivity wet wipes?
This is why I don't like do this back and forth because you got this good shit that makes me have to lay down, and I don't have anywhere to lay down.
I don't know. I hadn't thought that far ahead.
We'll work on that.
Because honestly,
listen, that's your other homework assignment.
He says I haven't thought that far ahead. In the meantime, there's a pallet of Mad Mike's activity wipes.
just sitting in the warehouse at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah.
No, they're just all lined up in your. Well, I don't know like what your house looks like, but like your driveway.
Oh yeah. Just a couple. It's like
Can you sign off on these, sir? Like a FedEx guy comes in.
It's like when the Inner Circle said they only ordered a few of the shirts from winning the the Stadium Stampede, and then they open the truck. There's like 10,000 boxes more. Yeah. Like, you know.
Yeah, no.
I got a deal. What can I say?
They will go a long way for visual gag at AEW, and I appreciate it.
Yes,
guys. Yeah, guys, it's time for our what?
Oh, our new assignment.
Our assignment. Yeah, no, it's assignment time.
Okay.
Let's find out. Sure. Let's find out what's going to plague you for next week, Mike. Let's find out.
Because it sounded like you were going to what we learned. I'm like, sword.
We're always learning, aren't we? Can you tell how much coffee I've had? Here's Professor Jacob.
Yeah, by the way, Badger, I don't drink coffee.
No, I had that, and oh my God, you're.
Anyways,
I don't know. That's just scary.
God help me if I did drink coffee.
Here's what Professor has to say.
My name is Professor Jacob Edwin, here to give another assignment on the Wrestling Mayhem show.
What is this?
This one's going to be kind of odd. ECW One Night Stand 2005. There's a lot of great moments and great matches from this show. The crowd is on fire. And this is one of the matches that the crowd was not receptive to. Rey Mysterio versus Psychosis. You want to listen to the crowd and the commentary on this because Joey Styles and Mick Foley do their best to explain a lot of things that American audiences might not be familiar with. This is very much a luchador and Mexican style of pro wrestling. You might even notice to the very keen eye that the lockup is different itself as well. So pay attention, pay close attention. I know that might be hard for some of you. See how the crowd does not receive this match very well at first. It definitely builds up and gets somewhere nice, but it's an odd pace. So hopefully everyone can enjoy, study up, and thank you.
I remember exactly what this match is.
And I remember what the crowd chanted.
And I remember why the crowd chanted what they chanted.
We will keep that for you when you get to that. That's the original One Night Stand.
But I will say this. Once you figure it out and you do your homework assignment, it's good fucking advice for coronavirus.
Wow. Guys, what did you learn?
It is.
What did you learn from wrestling this week? Oh, jeez, that is... that opened the box. That opened the box.
Badger's pulling out her receipts. Here's what I learned.
Let me take out my CVS length receipts.
Oh boy.
What did y'all learn?
From wrestling? From wrestling, maybe?
Oh boy.
Gee. Oh, I learned about Fight Island, guys.
Oh God.
Did you see this?
I read the article too. That was insane.
The new so I was catching up on New Japan. I watched there's a couple episodes in the can already for this week probably. All the New Japan Cup and the Come Together special that they did last week as they kind of relaunched. And in the midst of it, somehow I was just kind of typing up stuff, hitting Google News and doing a search for New Japan to get some more news on what they're doing and stuff. And all of a sudden this article popped up from like that very day about New Japan's Fight Island. It's on New Japan World. You can go watch it. I'm sure there's YouTube clips out there too. Excuse me. The version of the video I saw is an hour and 45 minutes match on an island between Inoki and I believe it was Saito in 1987. And there's I read much of the article about it and how it came about and the history and how it was like a big special. Shirley Doe commented about the special edition action figure pack that they released for this. Again, a lot of holds, I kind of jokingly say a lot of hugging in this match, but they leave the ring at some point, and then they're doing holds in the grass, but then it actually, like, the sun goes down and torches, giant tiki torches are lit. And at one point, it seems that they try to throw each other into the tiki torches. And I skip ahead a little bit because I didn't have an hour 45 to watch this yet. I intend to with friends. And just like covered in blood towards the end of it. This aired in like primetime television apparently in Japan in 1987. And of course inspired by A, the return of New Japan last week, and B, the UFC Fight Island concept that came up over the last several months with everything going on. So just for, again, remember I said I love wild concepts in wrestling? Here we are. So go explore that just as a really wild piece of history going on there. You may find an hour version of the match. Apparently that was the tape that was released about the match. Of the match, and it was just an edit down of only an hour of that said match. And there's a supposed third version of it somewhere out there too that the article explains. So definitely go check that out. That's awesome. Mike, what did you learn?
Oh boy. Wow. I learned that I learned to listen.
Oh.
I learned to listen. Just to listen to people, to take in what they have to say, and just listen. Just listen. That we need more of that in wrestling.
Yes.
Listen and respond accordingly. And I also learned it's really, really fun to tell assholes to fuck off.
Yes.
It's really,
there's
really
a lot
fun.
of that happening. Badger, how about you?
Well, no, in all seriousness, I learned, which I touched on earlier, because I'm struggling with this just because I'm a main contact on a lot of sides right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned it's okay to not be on demand as far as answering messages and whatnot 24/7. So it's okay to take a mental health day. To take it, mental health doesn't mean, a bubble bath or you sleep all day or you eat a bunch of junk food. A mental health day can be, I'm gonna just go take a walk without my phone, or put it on airplane mode so I can just listen to my music, like stuff like that. That's very important during movements like this. So make sure you're taking that time, whatever it is.
All right. Wheels is in the chat room, of course, and says, I learned 2020 can suck my ass and Badger is a queen.
Fair. Both statements incredibly accurate.
There you go.
Fact check came back positive.
Okay. Tina says, just learn how a community can come together for the most part in such circumstances to bring about change in such an evolutionary way, in a sense.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel that's something I actually I responded to. I believe it was LaFist. No, it was Kimberly. something Kimberly tweeted is that's the thing too, is like, I know right now it's very dark, it's very disheartening right now, but I promise you that it's gonna shift, and we're gonna be able to like bask in these moments of like all this goodness and all this camaraderie and all this unity that's coming through, which is so important. Like that's like something where, even as somebody who's been in the thick of all this and very many levels, like to see the people that have just not even just like come supported me, but just come together and say, hey, this is wrong. Like that's so heartwarming to see. So
Pawner shared, learned or relearned that when you think, wow, that was a lot, more can always happen. Yes, I think that's been all of us since March at this rate.
I on shit for years, people. Years. You don't understand. I've been singing. You know what this is like? I'm fucking Musically before it turned into TikTok. I remember. I got the files.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I'll sit on shit for years, like, God, because let me tell you something. Karma, a lot of people are talking about karma right now. Karma does not always answer to your timeline and instant. Karma sits there and says, I'll wait. I'll wait.
Yep.
And then I dusted those babies off, like, it's time, baby, your time to shine. And I let that shit into the air, and it turned into a beautiful fucking butterfly.
So where can people go to catch up on what you've been up to and learn, I guess?
My name on Facebook is Regina Badger. But like I said, I'm sure even if you just take a look at the page, I've done many of these before. We've had, not all such serious talks, but there's also a lot of stuff. Like Ziggy Heim and Marcus Mann, all from Rise with a Y. We did a intergender series and talked about, where things like that. So even if it's you want maybe to like educate yourself, but right now, like, there's so much of maybe this situation. You can always go back to those old episodes. Women with Waffles was one of the like funnest things I've done so far on here.
Yes.
Content like that. Like that's where if you need like some wrestling, but you need some like feel good wrestling, like we were talking about with our favorite matches or segments or whatnot. Like there's so much content.
Yes. There's a lot of Honey Badger over on the Indy Wrestling US YouTube channel. And even more over on the site as well. If you're on the network, that's what One with Waffles is, and the intergender panels. You were on both of them, I believe. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
That's part of the Indie Mayhem show podcast. Find that on your podcast player, or of course over at IndieWrestling.us. It'll be in the archives too. So, thank you so much, Badger, for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me. And same thing, kind of like, even if some of you don't want to talk to me personally about,
yes,
I have a lot of links for anything from just like mental health phone numbers and websites and everything like that, because I've been collecting this way before this movement and the other current movements and things we're dealing with. So like I'm trying to save all my information in one place, so even if I don't have the answer, I could say, I'm not qualified. I'm not qualified to speak on this or to give you this advice, but let me at least try to get you in the right direction. So even if it's something like you don't want to open up to me about it, but maybe you need like a hotline or you need a website or somewhere to go, even if I don't know the answer, I'll at least start the wildfire being like, this is the info I need. Somebody comment it.
There you go. Mad Mike 4883 on the Twitter.
You know what? I don't know where to send people. You know what? Go to Up Down Down. Watch 4 cool wrestlers playing Uno.
There you go. Yes. There you go.
Xavier Woods, Cesaro, Tyler Breeze, and Adam Cole. They have a whole series where they play Uno against each other, and god damn, it's just delightful.
The New Day's also had a couple, I believe, podcast episodes that have touched on a lot of things going on currently. But even if you start from episode 1, I'm gonna be very honest. I'm more a visual podcast person than I am just to listen to it in the background. It's just the way my attention runs. But I'm not the biggest podcast person. Like it has to be extremely entertaining and extremely well done for me to listen to it as much as I do.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about feel good wrestling? I cannot tell you how many times I've hit pause and laughed with the New Day's podcast, and those are just, oh man, even from the episode where they just talk about the different names that people and there's, and what's really funny is like there's still a lot of issues that are just as important now, but they've been talking about for a long time, and that's another thing is not dismiss the work that a lot of places are doing. Rise with a Y put out that Rise Above Hate shirt long before this,
mm-hmm.
and that's why they're a testament to. And it's not just, people are going to say it's because it's my, home promotion, or it's my trainer, or, I'm part of the Minions or whatever the fuck our name is now. But that's a locker room that I never have to worry. So it can be done. And even they're saying, how can we be better?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing is to just, that's all I try to do. I do not think I'm some, martyr or warrior, whatever leader. I keep hearing that, and I honestly don't feel like that. All it is I have a big fucking mouth, and I use it, and I just want to be a better human than I was yesterday. Like that's
use your big fucking mouth for good.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody in the chat room joining us for this conversation, the ups and downs of it. We hope, we're all perfect. I hope let us know what you think, what you disagree, agree with, everything, again, over comments over on the Wrestling Command Show group, Twitter, every place like that. We'll see you guys next time. Mayhem out.
Out.
There we go. We're going to hop off the live feed here. And but thank you for sticking with us the last couple of you in there. Hey, Alex, I'm sorry I didn't stick your Lucha Underground got a trademark thing. I actually want to look into that and see what's going on there, if it's MGM or whatnot. So
I hope this means our prequel idea is alive.
Oh yeah, I still believe in it. Still believe in it. All right, guys, we'll see you later.
Thank you.